manager in my company was like, "Oh, you have officially reached the marriageable age." Excessive display of affection publicly, which I
Oh,
like, stop it. Throw fingers at me saying, "Hey, you're judging people." But 10 gunners pointing at you, and you're standing there for to be shot dead and executed.
hello, YouTube. Welcome to the very first episode of Kisse with Kasturi. This is a podcast where we keep it casual and overshare for free. I am so excited to start this podcast series, and this is just season one, guys. I'm going to have a guest every week. We're going to talk about different topics, reminisce, become nostalgic about our days in college and school. It's going to be a mix of a lot of fun stuff, and it's going to be up every Saturday. And who better to kick off this first episode with than someone who has been part of my college days? Our bond has been formed over our shared love for art, writing, and late night overthinking. We have swapped stories, scribbled our thoughts into existence, and now we are turning those stories into conversations on this podcast. I have Adnan on my podcast today, and I'm going to pass it over to him to introduce himself, what we're going to talk about, and just all things crazy. So go grab your drink and settle in because this is the start of something fun, unfiltered, and totally unhinged. So, welcome to this very first episode of this podcast, Adnan. I am so excited to have you. I hope you're excited to be on this show.
Hi, Kasturi. So I'm super excited. So my the moment you texted me and you were like you're curating this podcast series, I was like, yeah, this is going to be one hell of a fun thing which I'll be doing. I'm too super excited.
I'm so glad you said yes to doing this podcast. I was like, he's so busy. I don't know if he'll say yes. But please introduce yourself to our audience. What do you do? Something interesting about you. And also with that, please introduce the topic that we're going to talking about today.
So I'm a scientist. So I have a day job. So I work as a research associate at a stem cell company. That is for the kitchen, as the saying goes, and for the soul. I'm an theater artist and practitioner of a lot of arts. So I'm predominantly a light designer in the theater, and so I've also happened to tiptoed myself and pushed myself into direction. So I've directed a play which has premiered, and we are doing a couple of repeat shows. So I enjoy doing theater, and I enjoy performing arts in general. So that's for the soul. And yeah.
I'm going to link Adnan's show ticket links. If by the time this goes up, if you have new shows coming up, I'm going to put that link in the description. So if anyone wants to go watch it, it's happening in Bangalore. The link will be there. Please continue.
So yeah, so sweet of you. Thank you so much. Please do come. You'll have it's a laughing riot as people. I'm not saying it, but people people who watched it have told me. So yeah, so I'm really excited and really challenged. The topic Kasturi threw at me, and like so it is the concept of the red flag and green flag, which really interests me, and I'm really I had to put in a lot of thought before coming into the like talking to you also. So let's see what's in store.
I'm so excited. I love how everybody who has been on this podcast, I've filmed with few of the people before I filmed with you. Everyone's so nervous, everyone's so prepared. And I am like, this is not an exam. You can literally say the most stupidest thing, and I'll be like, oh, this is great. But so, Adnan, before we start off, what drink, any interesting mug that you have with you?
So interestingly, so this is a mug which I think has a photo of me and the so this mug has a photo of me and a poem also written
Oh,
on it. And as long as the drink is hot, you can see the photo. And after that, a wheel of darkness begins to descend on the cup, which you can already see it has begun.
so this is my fault.
So
I made Adnan wait.
no.
So this is actually on me.
This cup contains this, as in Urdu, we call it a drink, a beverage called the Ashraful Mashrubat, meaning the noblest of beverages, which is chai. Uh, so, as a theater practitioners, it is mostly tea. What is what keeps us pushing? We don't have the liberty to like grab something or eat something because we are so engrossed in shows and the entertainment business. You just have to grab something. Arey, chai mil gayi. ठीक है. I'm done, sorted. So what's the drink? I'm excited what drink you have. So Kasturi happened to show me her cup, by the way, before we started recording. So I'm excited.
Actually, all my friends are going to be like in every other episode that I filmed, I don't have any special cup or any special mug, but this is like the first episode, and I am personally very excited for this episode because I love people who are in art, and Adnan happens to be one of them. So I'm just really excited to have this episode. So specially for this episode, I have this like a I don't know what you call it, but this is basically this is actually something that I have gifted it to my husband, but I stole it from him because I was like, this is a cool thing that yeah, and it
Awesome.
has a drink which is this, which I think is like a local drink from here. It's called Suki, which is sort of like
Oh,
an orange juice thing. Yeah, but mostly
awesome.
for the cup mug, whatever. That is what I wanted to sit with today.
So is it an aerated drink? Because we have a similar version called Fanta back here.
You know, we do have
So
Fanta also here, but I don't know. It just is high in vitamin C, and since I am on some kind of pseudo diet journey, I was like, close enough.
why not? Yeah, why not? Interesting.
Adnan, you did not tell me an interesting or a weird fact about yourself. You have to tell me that.
So I have an open book, so it is really difficult for me to find a weird fact. So, like I pointed, but I have this weird habit of scanning people.
Mhm.
I don't know. It couldn't be weird. It wouldn't be weird. But I look at a person and I'm like, ठीक है. So there is a lot of I try to hold myself back so people could throw fingers at me saying, "Hey, you're judging people." But I would call it a scan to see. Maybe it also comes because we keep working with a lot of
Yeah.
people and we have our own groups which we know who will deliver, who doesn't deliver. And over time, somebody comes. So interesting. I'll give you an example of what happens when I mean scanning. So let's say a person comes and says theater is this and start begins to talk about talking about theater or art philosophically. हम समझ जाते हैं भाई इसका कुछ या कुछ ज्यादा नहीं करेगा because so then we know ki how much we can depend, but some people are like they don't talk much, but when it comes to execution they put their heart and soul into it. So yeah, and I'm super proud of this. It might not be weird, but I'm super proud of this quality that I can judge people by their expressions. Are they feeling off or what is it?
And you are always like, most of the time, you're right about it. Like, you're accurate.
I do.
Interesting. Next time I meet new people, I'm going to like message you. I'll be like, Adnan, what do you think about this person? Should I be friends? We'll see.
Yeah, that is something I think I can also begin to offer it as a service.
Yeah.
Put that link also so people can call me every time they want a human scan.
I'm taking half the share because I just help you with the idea.
Yeah, of course, it's your podcast, your rules.
Okay, so we are starting off with our first question, which is, what is your ultimate red flag in a person that you're probably romantically involved with? Let's say in general in a person, and then say someone who you're involved with.
One of the biggest red flags, though societally it is acceptable, it is considered to be theek hai. It's not considered to be a red flag,
Mhm.
but I think it is a really how do I put it? Really does not vibe with me. Maybe is when a person is really mysterious or takes too long to have a conversation about something. And because I'm an extroverted or I'm an ambivert, as we call it, so depending on the situation, so I like to talk to people, know about them, and all of that. Uh, uh, I say this because whenever you are into the dating space, a lot of people say, "Hey, you don't like him; he's into you. Maybe you just ghost him or something." And I'm like, so that doesn't work with me. So I think I like more clarity when it comes to it, or even saying, "Hey, I know you're trying to flirt with me or being romantically with me. I mean, trying to be flirty, but I think I have different expectations or whatever. Maybe we could be friends, or we could talk more about it or get to know about each other." Since I'm a story writer, every human being and every person I meet, I look at them as a story. So, and when that is shut off, I'm like, interesting story is going and I cannot let it go.
So
So,
if someone plays a little hard to get, that is going to turn you off. You won't be, you're like, okay, that's not working out.
some, I think a little hard to get. Playing it for some time is fine.
Okay.
I mean, you need to do it because I think I enjoy it. I like enjoy a good challenge,
Mhm.
like as I mentioned. But having that as a continuous go-to thing
Yeah.
is something which I am really put off. Rather, even if not put off, I'm like, okay, maybe let me distance myself also. Maybe I'm coming. Sometimes I also try to evaluate. It could be their vulnerability or
Mhm.
their nervousness when it comes to the other person also. So yeah.
So, have you ever ignored any red flag in someone just because the vibe was great? So, even if they had subtle toxic traits, you're like, it's fine. I can ignore this.
In the theater field, you meet, or in the entertainment business, you meet a lot of beautiful people, and they're really interesting artistically, and there are a lot of knowledgeable people also. But though art has its own garden of blooming flowers, we tend to ignore the thorns which come with
Very well
it.
put.
Yeah, sometimes I think I would have judged, okay, this person is not into me, but I'm fascinated by a person that I might have uh, by that person so much that I do things wherein I can uh, see if something works out or something clicks that way, and then we and then it again comes back to the key. Yeah, maybe she's not interested in me and things like that.
So, it's
If I,
vibe,
if I
vibe over red flags, toxic traits.
Yeah, yeah. As I
Okay.
told you, I'm a consumer. I'm a greedy person when it comes to a good story. I see an interesting plot. I'm like, I want to be a part of this plot. So
Very well put. Very well put. I'm so glad I'm doing this honestly the first episode because so much talk about stories and art. I'm already very happy. Now, you said that you are a really good judge of characters, but has it ever happened where you were not able to judge them correctly, and then later on you realize that they are not the green flag that you thought they are?
so keeps happening to me, a lot of it, because this is this is though we have though I have the quality of judging a person, sometimes judgment turn wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it, so every judgment I do, even if I'm really critical about it, I take it with a pinch of salt, and
Uh-huh.
I try to add a layer of analysis there. And it has gone wrong in the past. Uh, I might have judged a person a little too poorly, but they turned out to be one of the most extraordinary people I've ever
Why don't you
met.
give us a story? Why don't you give us a nice, funny story of that? Give me, if you have, give me a situation in where this you have thought the person is not the best, and then they've turned out to be great, and where you've thought they're great and they have turned out not to be great. So I want both stories.
So as I told you, so I have no specific stories, or rather, no specific story comes to my mind. Maybe if I get a story, I'll point it out. But as I told you, like a lot of flashy people,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, when I mean flashy, not in terms of their attire or something.
Yeah.
When I mean when they try to talk and
Yeah.
a lot about that. So the first go-to judgment is like, अच्छा, ये तो इतना बात कर रहा है. बात तो कर लेते हैं, करके कितना दिखाएगा.
Mhm.
So that is a story. But there are, and I've also happened. I've also for instance, we tend to overestimate a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
Because when it comes to India, like you look at actors or movie stars as a huge thing. It is like that. So I have seen Nasruddin Shah perform. I worked with. I recently was attending RS workshop. I think you are aware of that.
Yeah.
So there, I met an NSD professor. I mean, he was coming and curating the workshop. Interesting person.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, when you talk to them, you feel so humbled because you think, oh, these are big shots, they have big money. But at the end of the day, they are just normal people like us.
Yeah.
And that is where I think the judgment goes wrong. Like the more you achieve through hard work,
Yeah.
the more stoic you tend to become.
Yeah.
So, or the more red you are, the more stoic you tend to become.
I was watching this interview on Instagram. There is this page, and this guy does this random interview with celebrities. So he did not
Mhm.
interview. He like pretends that he's bumped into these celebrities, like he doesn't know who they are. So he bumped into Vikas Khanna, the master chef, and
Mhm.
when he speaks, you don't even realize that he never even once says he's a judge of a master chef show or something. He just says I'm a chef, and he's so humble.
Mm.
And I was
Yeah.
so like impressed by it. It's like you've achieved so much, and you're so humbled even now. So yeah, that makes sense. So I know you did say this, like something that probably society doesn't perceive as a red flag, but for you it is. Now, what is that one thing that's a green flag for you, but not necessarily it's a green flag in general?
Maybe sometimes I think a person could be a little dramatic,
Mm-hmm.
but these are the people I'm interested in.
Okay.
Or sometimes it could also be a person could be really introverted,
Okay.
too shy.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, this person is not talking to me. How
Mm-hmm.
can I make a conversation? ठीक है, let's stay away and things like that. But for me, these are the people which really interest me. Like I'll be the first one to go and talk to them and be like, hey, tum aao and be part of this, and it's not scary. And it also comes from this understanding also comes from some personal experience also, because I too have been an really introverted person for a very long time, and I had to push myself to become an extrovert.
Yeah.
And so I can understand that things like that. So people who are really nervous or introverted and things like that, very shy, uh, they might be so shy that they will not talk to other people because they're so under the pressure. Like their anxiety is nerve wracking. But for me, it is like a good attribute because every human being needs to get accepted, and that's why we do theater also. And when you do theater, you realize that you get people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And and a good thing about theater is that you are uh, accepting everybody and what they are, and you are also disrespected if you don't put in the hard work
Yeah.
which they demand. तो
Yeah.
ऐसे लोग होते हैं ना जो ग्रुप में साइड में बैठ के पेप्सी पी रहे होते हैं थिंग्स लाइक वो लोग बोलते हैं छोड़ो यार जाने दो उससे क्या ही बात करना मैं बात करूंगा उससे
Mm.
so things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Do you know the author called Chuck Palahniuk who wrote Fight Club? Do you know Fight Club, the
अच्छा.
movie?
Yeah, of course I know. Yeah.
So his process of writing is that he does this thing.
Hmm.
He talks to people for their stories, and then he escalates the story into his own way. So that's how he
Hmm.
writes all these books. They're all based on these sort of real stories. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's actually that's a very good answer about green flag. Like yeah, a lot of people would think that if they're very quiet and introverted, yeah, they don't want to talk. But that's good. That was a good answer. Same question, but in a different way. What is that one green flag for you that is a red flag for you? Like green flag for other people, but red flag for you.
uh, and things there are this excessive uh, display of affection publicly, which I
Oh.
like. Stop it! This is not something I want to see. Okay, I know you're in love, you're excited about it.
Mm,
I mean, I'm also open to a lot of things which people, the society or people find a taboo. Like, for example, kissing in public or
yeah,
holding hands,
yeah,
and or even hugging,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So these are the things which I think should be, or it is fine for people to do, but everybody stares that down.
yeah.
But I'm also not a very big fan of excessive display of affection and posting it constantly on Instagram
Feel
and
like it was the
things
person to
like
get
that.
me because I'm
Sorry?
constantly posting everything on social media. No,
No,
no.
no, 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 that is
I'm just
fine. That is fine. But what I mean to say is there are sometimes I've seen people do things which is really cringy. Okay, you
yeah.
look at it, oh, scroll up, scroll up. I don't want to see that. Unfollow.
I am
So,
going to observe you when you get into a relationship. I'll see exactly like I have this proof now. You've said all this. We'll see if you change when you get into a relationship. You will be the first one probably posting picture with your partner, all the cute, cringy picture. We'll see.
I will. I will. I mean, I would even have a photo shoot to do that, but in moderation, of course. So
Mhm.
I might be a hypocrite big time. I might defy my own sense of cringiness. You are
Okay.
in love. You are in love. Yeah. What can you do? You are just going into it.
Yeah. Okay. But for
Ish ho
now,
gaya.
it's the public
Yeah.
display of affection. Okay.
No, excessive public
Oh,
display.
excessive. Sorry. Do you think now you're talking about that? Like, but do you think if someone who's excessively or way too much emotionally involved with someone, is that a red flag for you? Is that a green flag for you?
I think my definition of that has changed over the time, because when I was like, let's say, in my teenage or in my somewhere around crossing the legal barrier, that is the 18 or 20,
Mm-hmm.
I used to think that if I date a person, I would get into a marriage with that
Okay.
person.
Okay.
Okay, and then this began to change after course of time. After one like after I fell in love with a person, and
Okay.
I realized sometimes even a relationship could be really short, but could be really meaningful. So then my perspective changed, that I should not put the other person or put myself under the pressure that anybody I love will end up in a marriage or something like that. You might get onto different crossroads, and you
Yeah.
might amicably also try to part ways if it is not working out so much. Emotional attachment, I think, generally happens when you're trying to figure out how to get into a relationship. I think a little inexperience there also makes you a little too much emotionally dependent on the other person. But over time, when I crossed my 24, started getting into the late 20 age, I realized that when you are beginning to do a lot of things, right, when you have so much on your plate, uh, you begin to understand people, and that you both of you are busy in your own way, but whenever you need both of them, you are there.
Yeah.
So that emotional dependability is not so much.
Yeah.
So it somewhat it somewhat takes, I would not say a back seat, but I would say somewhere between mid seat or something,
Yeah.
because you understand each other, you know where not to become too emotional, but you also know that if you are there are consequences or situations which make you emotional, you have one person to talk to or listen to.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So
there's
has
that.
your definition of this red flag, green flag, has it changed from your younger age to now?
Not much, I think. As of yet, I have not seen any drastic change.
Mhm.
Of course, some things which I used to consider, I think there are few changes, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some aspects which I used to think is a red flag, and what is this, and
Mhm.
things like that. Now have become a normal part of my life, and things like that. Like that. So that's why maybe even public display of affection, up to an extent, I was somewhat not okay with it. I
Okay.
was like, I'm a person who, like, even to this date,
Mhm.
I like to keep my love life a little personal,
Right.
because but that does not mean I want to not introduce my partner or anybody to anybody else or my friends.
Yeah.
I would love to do that, but in a very controlled fashion. Only
Yeah.
very few selected people would know about it. But that has a little changed. So maybe I'm like, it's fine. So what if I have a partner? I have it because I literally turned 27 yesterday, so I was distributing sweets. So one of my manager in my company was like, "Oh, you have officially reached the marriageable age." So, so that made me realize, if you have a partner, why not? That's why my definition from PDA shifted to excessive PDA, public display of affection. So yeah,
Do you fancy someone in your office?
no, no,
Okay. Anybody
that
in
is something
the
which.
theater?
Yeah, theater is an open ground, so so you can. There are a lot of interesting people to pick and choose from.
Mm.
Uh, uh, so yeah, office I generally try to keep it very professional. So so the interesting fact at office, I keep pulling everybody's leg. So for since I joined way back in 22, I
Mhm.
was the only male lab member in the in the office, and everybody else. I had female colleagues. Of course, that changed recently. We
Mm.
had a couple of other people, men joining the club. So, but I pull everybody's leg, but that is it. So that is a boundary I don't generally tend to cross.
You're in theater, so you'll have a lot of options. At least people, if
Yeah,
nothing, you can have very interesting, pretty girls to talk to. So that's good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Do you think that social media has an influence on this whole red flag, green flag topic? That you think? Do you think that people are starting to realize a lot of things that are red flag or a lot of things that are green flag just because social media is putting a label on them?
I think so. I really believe that there is a huge influence, because the concept of a red flag and green flag itself was not there.
Not there.
Even even during our teenage days, we never used to hear about maximum sun liya ki yaar usne itna, meaning he was an, let's say he was an something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry for the word. You can bleep
I
Beep
have to
it.
bleep
Beep
it.
sound. You used to hear that, but now, interestingly, for the good and for the bad, I think the definitions are changing because people are really have the means to at least be aware and identify what is a toxic trait, what is a red flag, and they are. It is also making a lot of people self-reliant or self-independent in ways also because they are able to decide as to what is working for me and what is not working for me.
Yeah.
So, because for instance, even till my very early 20s, I was like, अरे प्यार तो प्यार होता है उसके साथ ये इश्क नहीं गालिब आग का दरिया है that mode of the thing उसमें डूबना ही पड़ता है all of that but yeah well, it is but there is a lot of see any relationship I think or even friendship not only romantic relationship
Yeah.
even friendship or even your family
Yeah.
relationship there are a lot of sacrifices and compromises that have to be made to maintain it.
Yeah.
There will be time you love passion, you really passionately love to do something, but you have to let it go.
Yeah.
And not for a long time, maybe for a small period of time, and you have to give time and all of that. But sometimes I've also observed that there is this negative traction to that. The aspect of compromise is not well appreciated. I want this, I am like this,
Yeah.
so I will be like that. So that does not. I think that is more of a green flag, which is coming from the red flag, green flag concept. I was reading this quote on Instagram the other day.
Mhm.
Like a young woman asked her grandmother, "So you didn't love my grandfather, but you still stayed with him for 60 years, like until he died or
Yeah.
whatever." So she's like, the grandmother replied that, "See, love is not something which you can always depend on."
Yeah.
Yeah, because there will be moments where you have surge of love emotions and where you there are days where you won't have you just have to stay with that person. There's the sense of compromise, sacrifice and understanding and loyalty which keeps you with that one person.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
but I'm talking about one person, but the dating rules again have changed. Polyamory is in question. So a lot of things. So yeah, interesting affairs to watch.
That is true. It was very simple back in the day. Now there's so many definitions involved, and so many small things are considered as red flags. And yeah, a lot of red flags, green flags in your partner or someone that you're romantically involved with. What is a red flag and a green flag in your friendship?
Nice turn of things, Kasturi. I've got to take a minute to think about this. Okay. A green flag is a person who is there. I can talk to, I can pour my heart, I can say, hey, these are some of the vulnerable things
Yeah.
which I'm going through, things that are not to gain self. I'm not saying I'm being self pity, but you need a person you can talk, right?
Yeah.
So could be a friend, could be a partner, could be a family member, could be a random stranger also.
Yeah.
Interestingly, uh, so red flag is a person
Mm.
I think in friendship at least is who is not like who's there for an ulterior motive,
Mm.
something that I don't really appreciate. Though, so yeah, so consciously, when I mean exploitative, they could not be there with an ulterior motive or something, but it could be situations. What do you choose in a situations? But in friendship, red flags as of now I've seen is very less. Okay, there are things where you are upset about, you get over it. So there is not a huge concrete red flag per se. Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Can someone have or a few red flags and still be the one for you?
could be if the green flags outweigh the red flags.
Mm.
That's why.
Yeah.
So
That,
because when though I'm talking about red flags and green flag, I think there is also some sense of awareness I or everybody should have that I some traits in me also are red flags to a lot of people,
yeah.
right? Then sets in the aspect of compromise, wherein you might have a red flag, but you need to, for protecting the other person's heart, because you're emotionally and involved in that relationship and to protect your loved one also. I think you also need to identify what could be a red flag to them and try not to. consciously try not to do things like that. I think it's not about what we see in others, but it also starts with what we see in ourselves.
Yeah.
The simple ability to say sorry if you're wrong.
Yeah. No, I agree. If the positives outweighs the negative, it could be the one. Okay, that was great. Now we are coming to my most favorite segment of this podcast, which is like we're gonna play a small game. So we
Yeah.
are playing because the topic is red flag.
Suddenly, I feel like though in those German movies, you have 10 gunners pointing at you, and you're standing there for to be shot dead and executed. I'm like that person standing there. Uh,
Oh my god. This is no. This is a silly game. It's a silly game. So don't worry. So because it's red flag versus green flag, I'm gonna give you sentence like one line situation or one line
Okay.
quality. You have to tell me if that's a green flag for you or if that's a red flag for you.
Oh, this suddenly turns out to be what you say, paintball game. Now I'll enjoy this. You'll give me a liner, and I'll have to say if it is a red flag or a green flag, right?
Yeah, for you. Not in general, like for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have so many I've listed. We'll see how many we can get through. Okay, they are still friends with their ex, but they say it's totally platonic or it's normal.
Mm. Red flag.
Okay. They send you memes all day but never ask you how you are doing.
Green flag.
Okay. They insist on splitting every bill.
Green flag.
They
But a
hate.
red flag also. So what? Some of these questions. No, I like to sit on the fence. Can we have an orange flag also,
No,
meaning
no.
a mix of red and green? Because sometimes there are situations where I'd love to pay the bill, like just a way
Okay.
of showing my क्या बोलते हैं, uh, like I like doing things for
Okay.
that sort of thing. Sometimes the other person might want to do things for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That explanation is fine, but no orange or nothing. It's either red or green. But you can give me an explanation if you think that in certain situation
Uh,
it's red, certain situation it's green.
now this podcast is going to shoot way over to us, Kasturi, because
No,
every question has
no. So that's why you have to bet. You have to like only give me where it's acceptable. Otherwise, red or green. They hate sharing their food.
green flag.
That's a huge red flag for me. How dare they not share their food?
Because I don't want to share my food sometimes if it is
That's
too tasty.
okay. That is fair enough. They say that they're a very honest person, but they use it as an excuse to be rude.
Red flag.
Okay. They have never been in a long-term relationship.
Green flag.
Okay.
Could have been a choice then.
Yeah. Okay. They ghosted you for a week, but then came back saying, sorry, I've been busy.
Red flag.
You keep doing this to me. You reply to me after 3-4 days.
But you take constant effort to not just top it off with sorry. You put in some work. You
Yeah,
ask a
that's true.
couple of questions.
Oh my god. No, but you do that.
I'm
You,
kidding. I'm kidding.
no, but
Yeah.
you did respond to me very nicely. So okay. They say I'm not ready for anything serious, but still act like they are your partner.
Green flag.
Okay. They are obsessed with astrology and blame everything on the stars.
Red flag. Red flag. Red to the power of two.
Oh my god. Okay. They don't like animals.
Red flag.
Okay. They say I don't like social media. No, I don't do social media, but you still see them post pictures.
Red flag.
They hate texting, but never suggest calling either.
Red flag.
They love drama, but claim to hate toxic people.
Green flag. This is an interesting.
Okay. And the final one is they start arguments just to see if you care about them or not.
Red flag.
Okay, that was good. You did good. You did good for most part. um, so yeah, so see, that was not tough. It did not go over 2 hours. It was easy for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I killed a lot of enemies in my paintball. I'm happy.
Well, that was the game, and that was amazing, Adnan. We have come to the end
Thank
of the
you.
podcast, so thank you so much. There was some of the
Thank you.
most valuable things. I'm sure our audience got a lot of insights.
Though I pointed it out, I think all of the conversations revolved around my personal experience. So nothing to be taken seriously. And I hope people find their own answers,
Yeah.
what and ask their own questions to themselves. Right.
We have a very eligible bachelor here. Girls, if you're watching.
Thank you, so sweet, Kasturi.
So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. This was the first episode. I hope all of you enjoyed this, and a new episode will be up again next Saturday. And if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give it a thumbs up. All informations are in the description box, including the ticket link to Adnan's show. I hope you all go if you're in Bangalore, and I hope all of you enjoy it.
Please do come. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, comment below what's your biggest green flag and what's your biggest red flags. Love to hear some discussions. And I will see you all in the next one. So, bye.
Bye.